Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Now, before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It is a SaaS business created in October of 2017 in the technology and business niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $28,092 and makes an average of $15,016 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a domain including all site content and files, trademark, social media accounts and pages, which include Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, an email list with 29,000 subscribers, databases, a Chrome extension, service contracts, and as a disclaimer, the buyer will be required to have a legal entity in the country where the Stripe account is located to purchase the business. And as another disclaimer, please note that the subscription metrics for this business are in euros, not US dollars. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 61192 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the sellers with me today. So welcome to the show, Anton and Florian. How are you doing today?
Great, thanks.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about both of you and your business. So to start us off with question one, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So it all started quite some time ago, about 2016, I would say. At that time, I was in the US doing an internship, and my partner was already in the IT sphere, working with SEO and Amazon affiliate websites. So he was familiar with Amazon at that time already, and he discovered like a trend coming up, Amazon FBA. So he asked me to verify, is it really that big? Is it really coming up? Are people talking about it in the US? And I started asking people around and actually heard about that people are starting to use the service of Amazon. So we together evaluated the market back then in the US and realized that there is a significant and increasing demand software solutions for, on the one hand, already existing sellers and also upcoming sellers. And so we said, okay, we bet on Amazon that Amazon's going to grow in the next couple of years and that the demand's going to grow also to different countries. So that was basically the idea and how to start and why to start this business.
Nice. And when you say you asked around, was it just you asking like friends and family, or was there some way that you, I guess, verified the need for this for a SaaS tool that could solve this problem?
What I basically did was, let's say in the first step, family, friends, I would call it. As I said, I was doing an internship back then. So I asked at work around what people think about it, whether people have heard about this at all. And I had surprisingly feedback, like a lot of feedback that people, oh yeah, sure, like my niece doing it, my cousin doing it, that. And so we thought, okay, that. And back then, 2016, this was already when this business became bigger and successful. So, and then in the next step, Florian visited me actually in the US. We traveled a little bit around and then asked also and took a look, okay, what is already there on the market? Like who is already there? And is there still room to grow? And yeah, we saw that there's definitely some room to grow there.
Nice. That's awesome. So you've had this business for several years at this point. You started this business in 2017. So why are you deciding to sell the business now instead of keeping it and growing it?
Yes, that's a good question. Basically, we have two reasons for this. Reason one is that our knowledge in terms of marketing and sales reached its limit. We know there's still room to grow, but we don't know exactly how to do it. And the second reason is we want to explore other fields. We have been in some FBA business for around 6 years, and we have learned a lot, but still more out there. And so we want to try out something new.
Yep. I hear that a lot with business owners on the Empire Flippers platform, that they like building things and they are interested in business. And that means that you have to choose when it's time to end one thing to start the new. Okay. So during this time, obviously your business has seen a lot of success and now in a position to sell the business. So what did you learn from building this business that seemed to work, that contributed to that success?
Thank you for that question. Yeah, I think what worked best for us was, on the one hand, as you already said, it's a software as a service, and we were familiar with software, so that helped us already, of course. And the other approach that we chose was self-service. So basically, people can register and start doing the research, start working on their accounts or whatever they need without having heavy onboarding, to have a heavy, like, big customer support team that supports every customer by person. So I think that approach helped us a lot. On the one hand, easily scaling and serving a lot of users, not like 10 at once. So that was one approach we think that helped us. And the other thing that we realized also in terms of marketing and sales, I would say, is the separation by country. Because at the beginning, we started to look at every user, or as an average user over all countries or regions, let us say. And at some point, we realized, okay, it's not that easy, let's put it. People from the US tend to behave differently than people from Australia or from the United Arab Emirates. And then we started to create more segments and provide, on the one hand, different marketing and also partially different sales channels. So that's basically those two things I would say stand out in our approach that have worked pretty well for us.
Nice. That sounds pretty complex, actually, thinking about how the customers in different marketplaces operate. And even on Amazon tries to make it easy to launch products or open in other marketplaces like the EU and Australia. But I never really thought about how the customers are different. It's almost like different businesses, it sounds like. Okay. That sounds like that worked well for you. Was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work as well?
Yeah, we put our hands on, because we said, okay, self-service. On the one hand, we had some educational in terms of written content, and we had also video content for education. And then we also tried out YouTube marketing to gather more customers, but that didn't work as good as we wanted to be. Let's put it this way. So that was one channel that we tried out, and we didn't have that much success, unfortunately.
Well, that's good for a potential buyer to know, just whether or not to venture into YouTube marketing. Okay. So this business is in slightly more developed. So can you describe at this point the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
So what we basically do is, at the moment, as you said, it's basically maintenance. So we do mostly monitoring. This means we are checking error logs on the technical side and see that, okay, all the systems are up and running. We didn't have downtimes. And maybe even if we had downtimes, to investigate the issue, to check, okay, was it something serious or not? So this is one thing. On the other hand, we are answering user tickets, but not on the first level. We have customer support pretty covered with our employees. But if, let's say, the question gets too technical, or if it's a business question, then we answer them ourselves. But I'm saying I'm talking about me and my partner. So those are basically the things that we do. And of course, from time to time, we check then the analytics dashboard to check that our KPIs and basically revenue is in place, and that on the one hand, tracking is working, but on the other hand, also that business is on track.
Got it. It sounds like there's a little bit of technical expertise required still, or do you find that it's still technically demanding, responding maybe more complex support tickets, or is the technical aspect mostly finished, would you say?
I would say two things. On the one hand, it is finished. I mean, the system is running stable for quite a long time now. Nevertheless, I would say the buyer should have still some technical knowledge about let's say, the basic structures that we have. On the one hand, databases such as MongoDB and MySQL, but also languages, programming languages such as Angular, which is the front-end language, and Java, just for the case. Because otherwise it might be tricky to maintain the business in some situations, but that I would say would be necessary, would be helpful.
Okay, that's great to know. All right, so let's talk about opportunities. If you were to keep the business instead of selling it, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
We have think about this in the past, and we still see a lot of opportunities there. One thing is to utilize additional like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, or search engine optimization, and provide more content for the blog. Also, a good opportunity is to develop new tools to even increase the value of the tool for the current customers, but also future customers. Also, Amazon is releasing new marketplaces each year, so it's good to add new marketplaces to reach a new audience. And another opportunity is also to do upsells to the current customer database. And that's it.
Got it. Yeah, I see that currently one of your top channels is paid search. So sounds like that's already working for you. So maybe further optimizing that and expanding the product itself. Got it. Okay. But of course, with any opportunities, there are also risks that come with really any business model. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Majority of our traffic is coming via Google Ads. And this means if the PPC price is increasing, it would be quite difficult to be profitable and to run the business. Other risk is that more competition is coming onto the market and is competing in our niche. And also the technical knowledge, if the buyer doesn't have the required tech stack, like Anton mentioned, it could be difficult to maintain the business.
Got it. So increased pricing and increased competition. Sounds like that's something that any SaaS owner or SaaS tool will have to worry about, is competition and staying relevant and profitable, of course. Okay. So a few questions to wrap this up. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
Yeah, well, I think the standard is about 30 days. And we said that we would go even for 60 days for email and call support as it is required.
Okay, great. Yep. And the default is 30 days, but awesome to hear you're willing to offer 60 days. Okay, next question. Would you commit to a non-compete on this business after it's sold?
Yeah, sure. That is fine with us.
Okay, perfect. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Yeah, I mean, we have the approach, if the deal is fair, well, we're good to go. I think if the terms are good, of course, sure.
Okay, great. And putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Well, as my partner already mentioned it, and then also, as I said at the beginning, we basically bet on Amazon, that Amazon keeps growing. As Amazon is growing, the customer base is growing. So that's why I still believe that Amazon is still growing. Especially we see it in different countries, setting up new websites. And on the other hand, we also see that not just Amazon is growing, but also the competition. We see in the US, Walmart gets a big sweep of people trying also to sell, Alibaba, AliExpress, and let's say in the Asian countries rather. So we see also demand there, and switching, let's say, our tools to different marketplaces isn't that difficult. And on the other hand, we see, okay, with this software as a service, it's a running business. We're already profitable. And now I would say we just need to scale it.
Yeah, it seems like there are a lot of opportunities for growth for this business. Okay, last question, potentially. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during this interview?
I think we covered everything in the questions before, so nothing else to add.
Okay, well, I'll wrap this up here. So, Anton and Florian, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I do hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Yeah, thanks for the interview, and talk to you. Bye.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 61192. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.